Hi, welcome. Today I've got a very interesting thing to talk. It may not be new or anything fancy. It's so common, just that people fail to acknowledge, and that is obesity and overweight among kids. You know what is overweight? When a child crosses the age allowed weight, you call that as overweight. When it is beyond 30 body mass index, we call that as obesity. It may be, the overweight may be because of the increase in fat, water, muscle or bone. But today I'll be restricting myself only to those ones which are related to fat. Why does this happen at first among babies, kids? There is always a balance between intake and output. Whenever the input is just the same but the output comes down, there's an imbalance, positive imbalance. The baby starts putting on weight. When the intake is really high and the calorie burnout remains the same, that's when there is positive accumulation of the calories, which is then converted to fat, which just gets stored in your body. This accumulation of fat doesn't happen overnight. It takes weeks, months and years for it to happen. There is calorie imbalance which you don't realize. By the time you realize, you're already overweight or maybe even obese. This happens rather very quickly among children because their height is less. Even a couple of kilos weight gain, this balance just changes and the baby starts becoming overweight very soon. That should be kept in mind. Babies do really have a very good balance. Whenever their calorie intake is enough, they just say, no, I don't want any more food. They just stop eating, they don't eat more. Whereas adults continue hogging on. But the lifestyle changes have happened so quickly in our society. We want to feed our kids a large quantity amount of both calories and fat within a short time. For instance, if a baby is consuming a certain amount of calories in a matter of 15 minutes, so now the same amount of period is used to probably consume double or triple the amount of calories what is needed. This rather escalates very quickly and baby starts putting on weight very quickly. Well, you might have seen those commercials on television where a child drinks or eats something which is, the ads are so catchy. You just want to grab that product from a supermarket. This problem doesn't exist just in the big cities, suburban areas, small cities, and even among the rural population we see this problem on a day-to-day basis. Those ads draw towards buying those products and giving it to your kids. What happens with these products? They're rich in fat, they're rich in calories, and within a small volume, it's packed, which is full of energy that packs inside your baby's stomach and which lets the baby put on weight very quickly. I was just speaking about television. Television and screens, that's the biggest reason why many kids are overweight and obese these days. This is not new, we have spoken this on many platforms, on many occasions. Kids watch so much of television, cartoons or games, mobiles, laptops, iPads, whatever the screen is, they just keep watching it, which has taken so much of their exercise time, play time, which is meant to burn out our calories. The modern day society just has no space. Our play areas are built away with so much of big apartments. You hardly have any shoulder space or breathing space for the kids to play. Cramped places, noisy environments, unhealthy environments, vehicle smoke going around all the places. You do not want your kids to play in those areas. You rather want your kids to play at home in front of you. Makes sense for you, but for the baby, it may not be good. Did you know that India hosts the second highest number of obese and overweight kids in the world? Which is the first the country which has the highest number? Yeah, you guessed it right. It's China, our neighboring country. Of course, simply because of the population and the eating habits, China is number one, way ahead of us. India is just right there. It's catching up very soon. Of course, in terms of percentage number of kids who are obese and overweight, the Western countries, including USA, really stands tall in comparison to any other country. Do you know that we being Indians itself is a major reason for us to become obese? You guessed it right. We have so many festivals, so many birthday parties, so many marriages, and we are supposed to eat in all those functions and festivals rich in carbohydrates, fats, sugars, no protein. You're meant to hog on all the time, otherwise your granny will be angry with you. You know that? Your child is crying, you want to pacify your kid with a candy. Whenever a child is not eating for whatever reason, you want to feed him with a chocolate. Whenever you are feeling low, you want to eat. That's called as comfort food. We have inculcated this practice right from our childhood that whatever the reason is, you just want to eat. So this habit is so dangerous that you put on weight rather quickly, very effectively. And this habit of comfort food is not easy to go even when you are adult. Whenever you are low, you want to feed. That's not good. Comforting food is good for your mind status, but on a long run, you're not doing good for yourself, not for your child. Most parents come to my clinic asking, why is my child not healthy? I say, the child, you haven't come in many months for any reason. And they say, my child is not plumpy. Every other child is plumpy, my child is not plumpy. And that is what healthy for them means. So this is a parental expectation. For them, the society has changed so much over the years, over the decades. We have actually forgotten what healthy means. Not getting repeated respiratory infections, not getting repeated diarrheal diseases. An active child, playing child, jumping around, can climb any wall or a mountain or a tree. That is a healthy child. For most parents, being plumpy is what they want, which is not good. People have forgotten that. We need to relearn what is healthy. Exams are one of the most common reasons why a child starts putting on weight. We are in a rat race. We want to be the first in our class. We want to be first in the state. We want to be the first in the country. For that reason, we forego our kids with any rights of play. You're not allowed to go out. You're not allowed to play with your friends. You're not allowed to have a look into the television. You're not allowed for anything but to study. This problem doesn't exist only in cities, suburban areas, rural. Every area wants to be in that rat race to be number one. That has resulted in an unhealthy rat race and child being obese and overweight. Do you agree with me or not? Please make a comment in the comment section. I'm eager to know what your responses are. You really think it's so difficult to diagnose a child with overweight and obesity? Not at all. As soon as a child enters into your clinic, you record the height and weight, and on most occasions, you're dealing with the lifestyle changes which has resulted in the overweight and obesity. But my job just doesn't end there. I need to make sure that the baby doesn't have a hypothyroidism or any other genetic condition which results in overweight and obesity. Obesity and overweight is not a problem just limited to our country. Most countries across the world face the same situation as ours. On an estimate, which was a paper released in 2017 by the New England Journal of Medicine, which says that almost 100 million kids across the world are obese. And about 600 million across the world adults are obese. Those are staggering numbers, This has resulted in a steep jump of diseases related to overweight, which include diabetes, hypertension, hypercholesterolemia, early heart diseases, osteoarthritis, menstrual issues, and fertility issues among females. In the last 30-40 years, we have seen a steep rise in all these problems, and mostly related to the lifestyle changes. Oh, that's easy. You make your child eat less of calories, less of fat, you're done. As soon as the child grows in height, it compensates and the child becomes normal for its weight, normal for his age. That's so simple, but that's not the fact. That's not how it happens. You ask a child to eat less of carbohydrates, fat, you put a diet chart, you ask them to follow this strict regime, and ask them to come back after 3 months, and you would see baby has put on another 2 or 3 kilos. That is the sad reality we see in our clinics. Unless a parent has a strong commitment, motivation towards reducing the weight of a child, this modification will never happen. It is said that obesity runs in their families because they never run, which is a sad reality. You look at the father who's big, you look at the mother who's big, you look at the child who's also big, and what can you say them? And asking a child not to eat when a parent is eating, that's cruel, that's gruesome. Don't do that. First, change should happen from within self. As a parent, you start restricting yourself from hogging, you start making a lifestyle modification which includes a good physical activity, having less of screen on time, and eating less of carbohydrates, less of fat. Making a good lifestyle changes is more important than asking a child to eat less. So this is a wholesome modification what has to be done, or not just directed to the child. A few scientists from the Harvard University, Mr. Amit Khera and Shekhar Kathiresan, have developed a genetic tool to assess which of the persons and kids may end up in obesity. There's another person by named Sadaf Farooqi from the Cambridge University. She has identified a gene called as MC4R gene, which has roughly about 300 mutations, and any change in these genes can make your child obese. These genetic mutations probably have a role in about 6% of entire obese patients, but it's most often the lifestyle changes what has made our community being really obese. Thanks for tuning in. Like, share, subscribe to my channel and share it among your friends.